It's like, are you kidding me? So we all went and got a haircut, and didn't matter. We did not need to get one. It was just his way of playing
Yeah.
with us. And discharge day was, 90% of the stuff was done in Japan before I left, where you had to go down to get a physical.
Yeah.
And you walked in and they'd say, follow the yellow line over there to the next room. When you get to the next room, they go, okay, well, obviously your hearing's okay because you heard the instructions, and your vision's okay because you followed the yellow line. And it was a rush job. In an hour or two, you were done with all your physical and stuff. Everything was over. So you had this massive envelope of paperwork to carry with you, bring it back, and they took it all away from you. And then they gave you the DD 214, which I still have a copy of after 50 years. Proves that I was in and I was honorably discharged.
And were you happy to get out, or?
I was ecstatic.
Yeah.
I wanted to come back to the States.
Yeah.
Being gone for 3 years, it was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot to be gone for that long. And you love your country, what the hell? But to be gone and not be, driving in Japan was an adventure. I ended up with a car. I bought a car over there, and I sold it before I left. But finally getting back here, being able to buy an American car. And it's just being in America, this is cool. This is cool. And you take off the military uniform, and after a few weeks, your hair grows out enough that people don't think you're military anymore.
Yeah.
So then you start getting treated a whole lot better.
And so what was it like when you came back to your hometown?
I tried to connect with all the other buddies that I had before who had already gotten out. Because some of them had been drafted, so they were out after a year or so, or two. And a couple of the friends that never went in, they played the game of, I'll see if I get drafted or if I don't. And they were not drafted, so they escaped.
Yeah.
And as a result, my experiences, their experiences were two different things, and it was like we didn't get along anymore. But we've been separated for 4 years. So, and trying to keep track of them, it was just really tough. I mean, I had to go find their parents to find out where the guys were.
Yeah.
So it just didn't work out.
Yeah. And did you reunite with like old friends from high school or childhood?
I tried to.
Yeah.
But again, by this time, I graduated in June of '68, and now we're into '73, and I'm getting ready to go to college, and I've got a wife, and it turned out that my wife was pregnant, so we were having a baby, and I was so busy with all that stuff trying to find anybody and that I used to run around with. It was tough. And so I pretty much gave up on it and just started making new friends.
Yeah. So what did you go on to do for a living after you were discharged?
First job was a restaurant because I needed a job, just any kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got a job at a machine shop where I was actually making some decent money for that time. And then I went to college for 4 years and became a wine salesman, selling to liquor stores. And did that for 3.5 years, and then I went into over-the-road sales, selling gift merchandise, and did that off and on for the next 8 years or so, and moved around a little bit, went out to Colorado, came back to Minnesota. I went out to Colorado, went to Washington, came back to Minnesota, and then I got into the brokerage business. I went in the back door. I didn't seriously think of becoming a stockbroker, but they needed somebody to work just a 3-week assignment, and I had just gotten laid off from a job. So I took it. It was cash.
Yeah.
And turned out to be, that was my job. So 30-some years in the brokerage business.
Yeah. And did those like old military skills like Morse code and discipline ever?
Zero application in civilian life.
Yeah.
There's just nothing.
Would you say it was a good time though?
You know, while I was in, it was lousy and I just wanted to get out.
Yeah.
Now I look back and go, you know, it was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. I learned a lot.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun. I got to travel. I traveled before I met my wife, I traveled all over Japan. And I made it down to Tokyo. I made it to Sendai that had the, 10, 11 years ago, had the big typhoon, tsunami thing come through and wipe out everything there. Been to a lot of different towns and met just tons of nice people over there. And got to argue with a lot of nice people, pleasant arguments, just conversation arguments.
Yeah. Did you ever find that you missed anything about military life or Japan?
You know, I worked 99% of my life, I've worked on commission.
Yeah.
So I never know what the paycheck's gonna be unless I go out and sell it and make some commission. And then you don't know, did they ship everything that I ordered? Did people get everything? Did they pay for it? Am I gonna get paid for it?
Yeah.
So you never know what your paycheck is gonna be. Being in the military, you know what the paycheck's gonna be. You know for the next year what the paycheck's gonna be.
Yeah.
That was, when I was younger, it was really nice having some certainty
Yeah.
versus uncertainty. But looking back now, I'll take the uncertainty because I got some hellacious paychecks. You know, when you're working commission, you get a $9,000 paycheck, you get a $3,000 paycheck for 1 week's work, and you're going, yeah, suckers over there working for $500 a week.
So, did you ever join any kind of veterans organization?
No. I thought about it, but I was traveling so much at home here.
Yeah.
With being on the road in sales. I was only home Friday night till Sunday night. And I ended up getting divorced after 3 years of being over the road. Ended up getting divorced. And so I had my kids on the weekends. And so I was busy. I was too busy to go sit around with a bunch of guys and rehash war stories and get drunk.
Yeah.
Which sadly, American Legion and VFW guys sit around and rehash old war stories and get drunk.
So, how do you think your service changed you as a person?
Made me more disciplined.
Yeah.
It made me more anxious to make money because you don't make any money in the military.
Yeah.
You get a place to sleep, you get clothes to wear, and you get food to eat, free medical care. But there's no chance to really make any money. And money motivates people all day long.
Yeah.
So it made me more hungry to make money.
So, if you could go back in time to 1969, would you tell yourself to join the Air Force again?
I tell myself, oh, yeah, because I didn't want to go in the Army.
Yeah.
I did not want to go to Vietnam. So the Air Force was the best way to avoid all that. And I'd do it all over again. There are things I'd do differently. I wouldn't get as drunk. I wouldn't blow as much money on booze as I did.
Yeah.
I'd do more traveling. And there's a lot of things I'd do differently.
Yeah. So, we're wrapping up now. I just have a few more questions.
No problem.
Yeah. Are there any life lessons you learned from your time in service?
You need to have one or two really strong, great buddies
Yeah.
that'll have your back.
Mm-hmm.
And not enough people have that. Not enough people have that. You need somebody that'll, right now, I needed a ladder. I called up a good buddy of mine and I said, you got some ladders, don't you? He says, yeah, what do you need? Come on over and get it. And I went and got it, and if I went out and bought a ladder, I'd have to spend $200 to buy the ladder I needed.
Yeah.
Instead, I just borrowed from him, and I've got it in my car now. I'm gonna take it back to him after this. And it's just, you need to have somebody that's got your back.
Yeah.
And the military, it's important to have somebody you find out that this is the guy who's gonna be with you.
Yeah. Do you think that the public views veterans in an accurate way?
Pretty much today they do.
Yeah.
But back at that time when I was in, no, not in the slightest.
Yeah.
But now today, Today, shoot, everybody goes, thank you for your service. But back when I was in, just nobody. I mean, it was rare to find anybody. If anybody said thank you, it was like, who the hell are you? I mean, 'cause no, there was nobody.
Yeah. So have you just seen like that positive change happen over the years?
Yeah, oh, in the last, oh, man. I think it was somewhere in the 90s where there's a big change.
Yeah.
And it's carried through till today where we love the military today.
Yeah.
So, yeah, big change.
Is there anything you wish that more people knew about veterans?
I did not have any problems, psychological, health-wise, from that. But I know a lot of people did, and some of my clients when I was in the brokerage business. I had one client who literally, it was about 4 years ago now, he died from Agent Orange. He got sprayed with Agent Orange enough that it destroyed him.
Yeah.
And people need to understand that these guys in the military are good guys. They're regular people.
Mhm.
And they're just doing a job that very few people want to do. We're down to 1% of the population actually goes in the military. And so, and we need them. And you don't know you need them until you actually do need them. And when you do need them, it's too late to say, oh, yeah, let's train you in, and 6 months to a year, 2 years from now, we'll be able to use you. No, you gotta have somebody there ready now.
Yeah. So what message would you like to leave for people who might watch this interview?
Joining the military may not be the first thing on your list, but it will help you out later in life as you'll get some skills and you'll get a lot of experience, and it's good experience. At the time, you may not appreciate it, but looking back later on, you will. It'll be good.
All right. Well, that's it for questions. One more thing, you can just all step into the frame.
Oh, go right ahead.
Prove we were here, I guess.
Yes, our cameraman, because he's been
Yeah.
very quiet.
There we go.
Cameraman and interviewer.
All right. Yeah, thank you for coming.
Not a problem.
Yeah,
No,
that
it's
was
fun.
That was really nice, thanks.
Cool.
Well,
hearing
see,
all
I
your
didn't
stories.
have any cool thing, you know, no